And I was able to kind of build something through the academy that mirrored my values. And it was really cool to be a part of that and not just work for an organization where you're like, I'm not sure if this is really like making an impact in the way I want. And so the academy allows me to be able to do that and see that in my community.
Aylin, I want to talk about, because I know, and you and I, it's been fun because we just had a recent podcast recording as well. So definitely I'll check that out. It was so good. And just tell us a little bit about like, where were you in life before business or before joining the academy? Where were you in business? Where were you in life before joining the academy?
Oh, okay. Well, I did not have a grant writing business and I was new to grant writing. So I had never written a grant. My background was in development and higher ed. So I had worked in donor relations and at a higher ed institution where I lived. And I left that job because the hours were just too long, the workload was just too much, and I had a toddler at home, so I just had a baby. And I'd always been interested in grant writing. So I did an online certificate program at a local university, and which was okay. And when I finished, I didn't really know where to go from there. I had tried, but unsuccessfully, to get some clients. And but I'd never written a grant, right? Like, how do you get a client when you have never written a grant? And so that's when I found the Grant Writing Academy. And number one, what stood out to me first and foremost was that you got unlimited grant reviews, because when you're pitching yourself to a client and you don't have anything to really show for it other than please trust me with your fundraising. I think being able to say that I was a part of a community that allowed me, that gave me support with unlimited like grant reviews. And I think that really did help me, get my first client. But yeah, that's what I was doing. So this was new to me. And I think I've been in the academy now for about a year.
I love that so much. And yeah, and you're talking about, so you actually did use that, because I didn't know that. You were
Yeah.
like, oh, that's how you got your first client, was literally just saying, I have
Yeah.
a
That
community. Like,
was
how
one
did
of
you
the
close that? Yeah.
Yes, that was one of the reasons, because I remember we did a podcast. I listened to a podcast or something, and you mentioned like
Yeah.
that's something you can tell people. And I was like, oh my
Absolutely.
gosh, yes, I should tell people this, because that's obviously something that would make me more marketable, because I want to do a good job and write grants, but I, needed to take that first step to getting a client.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's I love that you use that, and that we're like, yes, please do. Because it's like people do feel like stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like when they're first starting out, it's like, well, I want to get a client so I can get, experience, and I can win some grants and have, all the things. But to get a client, I need to have one, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that whole, it
Exactly.
feels weird. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and
So
I get that. A lot of my work at the higher ed institution was like reporting on grants. So I did a lot of like reporting and tracking donor funding.
Mhm.
And through that we would increase a grant, but like I hadn't actually written one. So this was great. And then being able to do the master grant application template, like that was such a holistic, comprehensive process of really doing a deep dive. And
Mhm.
yeah, that just kind of, it was much better than honestly, it was much better than the certificate program I did. And it was, I want to talk down about a certificate program, but the
Right.
academy was like actually launched, me having any type of a career, and actually launched me being able to be successful and
Mhm.
securing grants and obtaining clients.
I love that. So you also got your first client in the program, and you got your first grant in the program.
Mhm.
Can you kind
I
of talk
did.
about that? Did you use like our grant reviews or the master grant? Like how you like did you feel supported in that process or
Yes, yes. So I ended up using the master grant application template a good bit, and I wasn't able to do a grant review for the first grant because it was last minute, and
Yep.
I was like, yes, I will help. So, but it was for a community center in Charleston, South Carolina, and they applied for they needed support for a tax grant through the city.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I used the master grant application template to do the whole thing. And that's actually what enabled me to bring them on as a retainer client, because I started out just saying, hey, I'll help you with this one grant. If it goes well, like let's let's talk about it. So I got paid for it, but then which the Academy helped me understand how to navigate those conversations. But yeah, it was great. So they got the win, and they'd never gotten that grant before. So they had applied the previous year unsuccessfully. And so they like, and that was one of the first grants they got that where they kind of were on the radar of like the city. So it was very exciting.
Amazing. What was
Mhm.
it for?
It was for advertising. So it was a tourism tax grant.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that's so
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, so they were
So,
competing with like, you know, huge, like, or well, huge for Charleston, but like huge, you know, nonprofit organizations who bring people to Charleston for tourism. So it was a lot of competition, and you know, and going through and seeing like how much they gave to other organizations, I was not anticipating them to get the full amount so they got the full amount they asked for,
wow.
like 36,000. And so they I honestly didn't know what would happen, but it happened. It was very exciting for them. So it was
Amazing.
1 year marketing budget for them. Mhm.
Amazing. That's so good. And that's like such a ripple effect for the economy too. Like, I
Yes.
love that. I love that so
Yes,
much.
heads in beds, exactly.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it was great for them, and it was, I mean, it's such a meaningful thing for the community as well. And now I'm on retainer for them. So
I love it.
it's
So,
great.
and you also use our process to get on retainer. And I love that
Yes.
you're, yeah, just starting out of like, okay, I'm totally new and I can create this business like right. From the
Yes,
beginning. So
yes.
I love that.
That, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, in a way, that's kind of what made it cool, because it was a blank slate, and I was able
Yeah.
to kind of build something through the academy that mirrored my values.
Mhm.
And it was really cool to be a part of that and not just, you know, work for an organization where you're like, you know, I'm not sure if this is really like making an impact in the way I want. And so the
Mhm.
academy allows me to be able to do that and see that in my community.
I love that. I love that so much. And then we were just like catching up. It was so funny on the back end before we started. We're all like, okay, what numbers do you have? So you guys submit your wins and stuff. So far you've been able to secure then $50,000 in grants from zero, y'all, from never getting a grant. Never
Yeah.
writing a grant before, like literally
Oh,
in a class, to now submitting grants and winning over $50,000 in grant funding and $54,000 in your grant writing business.
yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Give her
Yeah.
some love, y'all. That's so good. So I know a lot of you out there, you're like, but I don't have experience. Can I get paid to write the master grant application? Because inside the academy, we have our 30-day master grant application, and we're always like, yeah, you can, but it is
Mhm.
knowing like how, but then you guys get stuck sometimes, right? We get stuck in the, well, how would I even communicate that? And then in the sales call thing, that's why we're having our sales call lab coming up, y'all. But even going in the curriculum that we have now, you just utilized what we said is, we'll lean into us. We're a part of your team. We are a team member. So can
Mhm.
you just a little bit say like, was that an objection, or did you get in front of that and say, this is what I have? Or was it a question that you responded to?
I got in front of it.
Cool.
So I posted that question to Slack when I first started. I asked like the Slack channel, hey, like I am new to grant writing, and I need to do the master grant application template, you know, because that's also part of the curriculum. And is there a way that I can get paid to do this? Because I need to get paid. So I got a lot of responses with people
Mhm.
who had maybe had those conversations. And so I just got ahead of it, because of course that's a natural question. Like let's talk about what you fundraised. And so I just said that, you know, I was my what did I say? I think I spoke to the fact that I had shifted some things in my career. I went from doing donor relations to now I'm just strictly doing grant writing, and I am new to grant writing, but I am part of a community, a grant writing academy, where I can look to colleagues who have like decades of experience in successful fundraising in order to get all of my reviews done. And I didn't tell them that I was doing a master grant application.
Yeah.
I just said that I was going to provide support for this grant, but I used the master grant application template in order to do it.
Nice.